Again, the House plans to vote this week on a standalone Israel aid bill at $17.6 billion. The measure is roughly $3 billion more than the aid package House Republicans proposed last year, and it no longer includes the previously proposed IRS funding cuts. This new measure challenges a bipartisan Senate proposal that aims to fund Israel, Ukraine, and the border. And while Donald Trump has been urging Republican lawmakers to reject a compromise with Democrats, House Speaker Mike Johnson insists the former president played no role in this new proposal.
Of course not. He's not calling the shots. I am calling the shots for the House. That's our responsibility. And I have been saying this far longer than President Trump has. I have been saying what the requirements are to fix the problem. I don't care if they call the legislation H.R. 2 or not. What we're saying is you have to stem the flow.
According to National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, the Biden administration views the Speaker's aid bill as a, quote, ploy. Meantime, House Democrat leaders are knocking their Republican counterparts for pursuing a new standalone Israel aid bill over the Senate's national security package. Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on ABC's This Week.
Beyond that, we also have to address the national security priorities of the American people in other parts of the world. First and foremost, certainly to support Ukraine's effort to push back against Russian aggression, also to support our allies in the Indo-Pacific, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea. The legislation being put forth by House Republicans does none of that.
The ranking Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee raised similar concerns, and in an email to colleagues today, House Minority Whip Katherine Clark called the measure a bipartisan bill, but a handful of pro-Israel Democrats, including Congressman Richie Torres and Brad Sherman, say they will support the new package. Jeffries says his party will review the legislation over the next few days and will hold a caucus to talk about it on Tuesday. And tonight, fears of a widening war in the Middle East. The U.S. has continued to launch more than 100 attacks in at least 3 countries in response to the drone attack that killed 3 U.S. service members 1 week ago. Christine Frizzell brings us the latest.
Another day, another round of strikes in the Middle East. U.S. officials reporting destroying an anti-ship cruise missile in a Houthi-controlled area of Yemen, following strikes on more than 30 other targets in Yemen launched by American and British forces, and the initial more than 100 attacks on 85 targets in Iraq and Syria.
The Pentagon believes we had good effect, that we hit what we were aiming at.
These efforts in response to the attack in Jordan that killed 3 American service members. Their remains returned home on Friday, just hours before the first military response. Top Biden administration officials, though, making clear there will be more to come, as Republicans characterize the response as too little, too late.
Iran is trying to drive us out of the Mideast, and the response we're giving is inadequate to the task. They do not believe or fear that we will hit what matters most to them, their oil infrastructure or their leadership.
Okay. Others blame President Biden for pushing to resurrect the Iranian nuclear deal.
By doing that, he lifted the sanctions. All the money flowed to all of the terrorist proxies around the region, and now we're paying the price of that.
The military strategy ahead, a delicate dance Biden administration officials insist is still the best path forward.
The United States will step up and respond when our forces are attacked, and the United States also is not looking for a wider war in the Middle East.
But Iraq has said the attacks blatantly violate the country's sovereignty, with top officials in Iran and Yemen warning they will lead to more escalation of tensions and instability in the region. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Back here at home and breaking tonight, an active situation is unfolding in Hendersonville. Officials say an armed subject has barricaded themselves somewhere in the Crab Creek community on Evans Road. Residents are advised to stay indoors and keep their doors locked until the situation is resolved. News 13's Justin Berger is live in Hendersonville with the very